All right, you guys, McCankle's Taco Tits polling is so bad. And we always kind of thought there's no way he has this kind of support. It has to be exaggerated because the oligarchs own all of the social media, they own the corporate media, and then there's all these bot farms. Well, lo and behold, UMass Amherst does some very in depth polling. New national UMass Amherst poll finds President Trump's job approval gap slides 6 points since just April, you guys. The survey finds Trump's net approval drops to minus 20, 6 months into his term, while his approval rating on immigration falls 9 points since just April. Additionally, 70% say he has not handled Epstein's situation well, and 81%, you guys, 81% blame Taco Tits for hiding information on the case. Democrats, this is your window. Let's dive deep into all of the data that UMass Amherst uncovered. Overall views on Trump's presidency in April, 44% approved, 51 disapproved. Right now, today, you guys, he is at a 38% approval rating. 38%. So they're doing all of this shit, deporting people, denying due process, threatening to arrest Texas Democrats, threatening to federalize the nation's capital. They're doing this shit with 38% support and lying to you and saying we have this huge mandate and Taco Tits is so popular and they're putting him on the ceiling of the White House so he can run around and act like a nut because they're delusional.
Well, they're delusional, and they also know that Trump sits every single interview with him that's on Fox News and all of the right wing echo chamber. Gas is down, inflation's down, prices are down. No, it's not. And hopefully, I mean, maybe I'm just too optimistic that Americans are like, he's lying to us because prices are up, inflation is higher, gas is not less.
Let's dive into those numbers right here, Pumps. All right, Kylie, put this up. Inflation, 31% approval on his handling of inflation, 41% approval on immigration, 37% approval on jobs, 32% on civil rights, 31% on tariffs, 37% on natural disasters. You guys, this is unbelievable. His approval on issue by issue by issue is in the 30s. He is so underwater on everything that he ran for because people realize he is a con artist. I know that some people must be late study, late. Sometimes I'm that person. This man is such a con artist and he is such a diabolical liar, and all of the bullshit that he spews on Fox News or whatever he's on, people realize that it was all a lie. So I estimate the cult at around 31%, and that's on inflation. I think that you have 31% of the population that approves of his handling of inflation. That number right there tells us what percentage of the American population are cultist. I think we're at 31%. All right, and this is where it gets really, really bad for him. Everyone thinks he's lying about Epstein. All right, put this up. Percentage of Americans who agree that 63% say the Trump administration is hiding information about the Epstein case. 59% say a special prosecutor should investigate DOJ's handling of Epstein case. 67% say Trump was once good friends with Epstein, and 71% says a list of Epstein's clients exist. You guys, these numbers, I mean, everybody says the American public is so polarized. This is a pretty big consensus right here.
Yeah, it is. And what is so fascinating to me is this numbers on immigration. That was what he ran on. We are going to deport immigrants, blah, blah, blah. They're criminals, whatever. That's what is keeping him. That is the only number that's in the 40s is immigration. And that used to be his biggest issue. And I look and I think, who is okay with him putting people in concentration camps in El Salvador, in Florida, getting eaten by alligators. They think that's fun. They buy the merch. And then I find out, you know who it is? Because I've done some field research here in Oklahoma. It's evangelical Christians.
Yes.
They're fine with it. What would Jesus do? Oh, I think he'd be in on it. So that is how absolutely easy to manipulate and racist and cruel these evangelical Christians are.
They are the biggest liability for American democracy is the evangelical Christianity movement. It's how Vladimir Putin entered the American society was through the prayer breakfast. It's how Benjamin Netanyahu and a corrupt Israeli government manipulates people by saying, hey, you know where we've got to be in order for the rapture. But this whole thing with Epstein, you guys, the numbers get more and more daunting for Taco Tits. Put this up, Kylie. Who is responsible for hiding information about the Epstein case? 81% of the American public think that President McCankles, Taco Tits, Trump, convicted felon, we all know he's 5'10". We all know he's pushing 300. We all know he cheats at golf. 81% of us believe that he is responsible for hiding the information. 59% think it's Pam Bondi, 49% Kash Patel, 47% think Mike Johnson, 34% think bureaucrats, and 16% think congressional Democrats. I mean, what's going on with that 16%? But nonetheless, you guys, 81%. This is a huge liability. It's why Smokey Eye Sociopath is hosting a strategy meeting tonight at the Naval residence for the vice president. It's why Susie Wiles is going to be there because 81% of Americans think he's lying about this. And this is why we have to keep this Epstein stuff at the top of the news cycle because it is integral to every other Trump policy. And let me explain. Trump's number one policy is protecting himself and protecting billionaire interests. That's all he does. What is he doing with this? He's protecting himself and protecting other people in the files. I was very surprised to find out that none other than Steve Bannon is in framed photographs in Jeffrey Epstein's apartment. It's bananas. And so this is something that Trump does. He protects criminals that benefit him or he protects himself. But in deep diving deeper into this poll, this is the most fascinating bit about it, aside from the 81%. Trump has cultivated a masculine reputation and sought to build support among American men. But strikingly, we find that support for Trump has deteriorated most substantially among members of this group. In April, Trump enjoyed approval from 48% of men compared to 39% of women. Now, only 39% of men express approval of Trump compared to 35% of women. And I think what this proves is what we've been saying on IHIP News, and I've had it podcast from the jump. Nobody likes a whining, crying, whinging titty baby. And the men in the MAGA movement, led by McCankle's Taco Tits, sit and whine and complain non-stop. I'm not really into like, this is masculine, this is feminine, but I sure as hell know that when a grown-ass man that's 85 million years old with these swollen ankles and needs to wear a bra is sitting complaining, they're picking on me. 60 Minutes is mean to me. These people are mean to me. These people are mean to me, that he is a abject titty baby. And the men are finally realizing nobody likes a whiner.
Well, I hope they are, but a lot of them are the same way. But here's what makes me the happiest in all those numbers. Mike Johnson has a little skin in the game. The American people see that he shut down Congress. He stands on his Bible and he talks about what a big Christian he is and that he is Moses. God told him that people know he shut down Congress to protect pedophiles. So that makes me happy.
That's exactly what Mike Johnson did. All right. And then lastly, Trump got on CNBC last night. And Donald Trump he lives in a world where everybody around him tells him what he wants to hear and doesn't tell him the truth, which would be fine if you live in the memory care wing of a nursing home that like you're living out your final days and everybody's like, oh yeah, You're so popular, everybody in the nursing home thinks that you are the coolest person in the nursing home. That would be totally fine. The problem with this approach is this guy is the president of the United States, much to everybody's dismay. But he is so delusional. Jake Tapper, I want you to pay attention to this clip right here. Play it.
I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, a record that they say won't be beaten unless I run again.
Are you going to run again? The
No,
Constitution
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
And you're not going to fire Jay Powell. We'll go all talk about all the stuff that.
Hey, Becky, I'd like to run. I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. You know why? Because people love the tariffs, and they love the trade deal, and they love that countries. And they love that foreign countries aren't ripping us off anymore. For years, they ripped us off, friend and foe. And the friend was worse.
Overall poll numbers, you don't have the best you ever had in overall poll numbers. You do. I cited one of those.
I have the best. I have the best poll numbers I've ever had.
Among
I have poll numbers where I'm 71%. I have the best poll numbers. Look,
those are among Republicans. You know you've got.
No. Among Republicans, I'm at 94 and 95%. No, I'm talking about generally. I have the. Let me put it this way: there was a gentleman on Harry Emden yesterday on CNN, and he went crazy over how well Trump was doing. Now, you know, you don't put that on because I think CBS is a shade. Actually, CNN's a shade better than NBC. I think NBC is probably the worst of them all. But if you check CNN tomorrow, watch Harry Emden, and you'll see about the numbers. But that's okay. We have to defend ourselves, Joe.
I know, but there are other. They can cite. Your haters cite polls that have you down in the 30s, Mr. President. And,
yeah, but they're fake polls, Joe. I had a lot of fake polls. You also have me in the 70s. I have fake polls. Fox gives me terrible polls all the time. You know, they do nothing, but I've never had a good poll with Fox. And then I win an election, and I go through the roof. Because, look, I won every swing state, did I not? I won every swing state. Andrew, I won the popular vote by millions of votes. Even though they tried like hell to cheat, I won by millions of votes. I won the counties, and all of the counties. I won 7,000. No, I won 2,750 to 502. And I won the election in a landslide. And obviously that's only, we're only 6 months in. But my poll numbers are better now, much better than during the election. And now part of that is because the Democrat Party is self-destructing. I mean, when you have low IQ people like Crockett, I wonder if she's any relationship to the late great Davy Crockett, who was a great gentleman. I wonder if she's got any relationship to Davy Crockett, the great old Davy Crockett. But you have this woman Crockett. She's a very low IQ person. Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be.
Okay. I played this clip in its entirety because it's important to understand that he is treated completely different in corporate media than all of the presidents prior to him. The amount of deference given to him, he goes on and on. That Andrew was like, actually, no. With Republicans, he keeps trying to fact check him. Trump lives in a bubble surrounded by ass kissers, people who have no courage and no conviction, who tell him what he wants to hear. That MFer thinks he has a 70% approval rating, and you can tell he believes it. And then he goes on and on saying he won the election by millions of votes. It was under 2 million in a country of 340 million. It was no landslide. Then he brings up the counties. A lot of these counties, you guys, have people like 300 people that live in them. Republicans always think that land votes. And so when they show you the map, they think, when there's big red spaces, it's because nobody fucking lives in those areas. And lastly, the delusion, the dementia, the cognitive decline to just openly opine. I wonder if Jasmine Crockett is related to the late, great Davy Crockett. Reminds me of the late, great Hannibal Lecter. And this thing is just going to be on social media, and the news is not going to cover it. If Biden behaved this way, if Obama behaved this way, even if George W. Bush behaved this way, they would have a fit, because even just that right there shows how over his skis he is. But I wanted y'all to hear that. I wanted you to understand why they're governing the way they're governing, because the entire administration is operating under what psychiatrists call delusions of grandeur. And we are all the collateral damage. Please buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Subscribe to our channel. Get us to 1 million motherfuckers. We want the goddamn trophy, right, Pumps?
That's exactly right.
All right. We'll see y'all later.